2023 was one of the greatest years in gaming we've seen in a long time. With heavy hitters like Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, and Jedi Survivor all seeing praise, it's gonna be hard to follow up that act. But the reality is that these studios and publishers have bills to pay, so they damn for sure are going to try. As I continue to work my way through Baldur's Gate 3, I figured I'd put together a quick video talking about the games I'm looking forward to in 2024. Just allow me to lie down a few rules. Those rules include understanding that this list comes in no particular order. I'm also not saying any of these games will be good. I just think they look or sound good, and I'm hoping for the best. Now, I did my research, and honestly, I couldn't find 10 games I was excited about that had a definitive release date. I could only find 7, so there will be 3 without a release date, and I'll be sure to state those games. But based on the evidence, I do believe they'll drop in 2024. And with that disclaimer out of the way, I now present to you 10 games I'm hyped for in 2024. So there I was scripting this video when I thought to myself, why not kick off this video by making the first game I cover be the first major release of 2024? See, for those of you living under a Dwayne Johnson, Tekken 8 is the first AAA release in 2024. Dropping January 26, 2024 for PC, PS5, and Xbox, this is the latest entry in the long-running franchise, but this time around they made the jump to the Unreal Engine 5, and boy does it show. This game is pure eye candy, but more importantly, major changes were made to the formula. Tekken 8 features a new heat system. There's a new meter below the player's health bar that can be activated once full. This meter can be used to pull off new devastating combos and damage, thus rewarding aggressive players. Tekken 8 will also feature new characters, crossplay, a shonen-like campaign, and a bonus story within the arcade mode. All in all, I think I'm excited for this one because it looks like they're putting together a content-rich package that will be playable day one like Street Fighter 6 and unlike Mortal Kombat 1. Currently, there's a free demo out now on PC, PS5, and Xbox, so be sure to try it out and see if you like Tekken 8. The second game I'm looking forward to is less of a game, and it's more of an expansion. It's Elden Ring's DLC rumored to be called Shadow of Erdtree, or E-Tree, or Edtree. I don't know how to pronounce this shit.
Wait, what? DLC? I thought you hated paying for DLC, TBH.
I do, but this ain't a normal game we talking about. This is Elden Ring, the GOAT, baby!
You're right. I guess we all have a price. I mean, mine would be one night with Millennia. If I could just get that tall glass of premium milk to do that waterfowl dance on my cock.
Anyways, this expansion does not have a definitive release date, but recent evidence suggests we could see it drop February 2024, with another expansion coming in 2025 according to Rock Paper Shotgun. There were some rumors floating around that this DLC involves Millennia's brother pulling up for the smoke, but other than that, there's literally no credible info on the content outside of his name, so instead, I'd like to take this time to talk about what I hope happens. First off, I pray this is a proper expansion. The community has been waiting since 2022 for some new Elden Ring content, so it'd be a major letdown if it was just some cheap 2-hour DLC. I need a 20-hour expansion. The second thing I want to see is they got to introduce new powerful weapons, armor, and spells. And third but not last is, if the brother rumors are true, really take the time to flesh out more of the game's lore. I pray the rumors are true, as I and many others are ready to return to the lands between to shout obscene things such as fucking heal, bitch. He's got double AoEs? Despite all the skepticism I've had about this game, the little kid in me still has hope for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I am a sucker for superhero content, so I pray this game comes out decent. The reason I still want to try this game is because I love games with a strong movement system. If it's one thing this game's dev diaries and the trailers have showcased is, at bare minimum, it looks fun to move around Metropolis with one of the 4 playable characters. I'm also curious about how the game's story will play out. Brainiac has taken over Superman's stomping grounds, and it's up to Task Force X to take down a mind-controlled Justice League. This game's been catching a lot of flack for being a looter shooter, so I pray at bare minimum they make the boss fights unique and engaging like Remnant 2. Rocksteady has been on a roll with the Arkham games, so please don't let us down with this one when it drops February 2nd for PC, Xbox, and PS5. Dragon's Dogma is a criminally underrated RPG from Capcom. The first one has a cult-like following. I mean, mention this game, and gamers who've played it will usually gush about the unique combat system, the exploration, and the RPG mechanics. For me, it was always the combat that stood out the most. Combat played like a mix between your traditional hack-and-slash game, but you also had to wrangle in larger enemies like it was Shadow of the Colossus. When you fought, it always felt like you were taking on something larger than life, as if your life was actually in danger if you made one wrong move. Its sequel, Dragon's Dogma 2, 2 is coming out March 22nd, 2024 for PS5, Xbox, and PC. Everything about this game looks like they took the first game and they turned it up a few notches. The scale is larger, there's a bigger emphasis on exploration, combat looks smooth, and the game looks visually good. I'm just curious to see what they do with the story and what other new mechanics it has to offer, but definitely keep your eye out on this game. If it's anything like the last one, this one's definitely going to be fun. Rise of the Ronin is a new IP coming out of the Team Ninja camp. This is the same people behind Nioh, Wulong, and Ninja Gaiden, so it's safe to assume the action in this game is going to be top tier. This game can be best described as a Souls-like, but if that's not your thing, no, they recently revealed that there will be an easy mode for all the gamers out there suffering from a skill issue. Actually, there will be 3 difficulties, so if I had to make an educated guess, I'd say this will be closer to Star Wars Jedi Survivor in terms of difficulty than Lies of P. The actual game looks like it plays something akin to Wulong and Nioh. So why am I excited for this game? Honestly, I'm biased. I mean, come on, my name is Hokage. I am a sucker for anything ninja or samurai related. Outside of that, the atmosphere on the story looks solid. I like the traversal options and the combat looks fast and fluid. My only concern with this game is it's hard to gauge what separates this from previous action games that Team Ninja's made. It looks a lot like Nioh and Wulong. I pray they bring something new to the formula, or this could just end up being just an okay game. Only time will tell. We'll see when Rise of Ronin drops March 22nd, 2024, exclusively for the PlayStation 5. When I was a kid, I didn't own a PlayStation. We were poor. All I had was an N64. I couldn't have both. So I was only able to play the original Final Fantasy VII briefly over a friend's house. Fast forward 20-something years later, and the remake drops. Now, admittedly, I've never been a huge Final Fantasy fan outside of a few of the core entries. So when I went into the Final Fantasy VII remake, I had no expectations. Upon completing that game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is now one of my most anticipated games of 2024. I loved part 1 of the remake. The story was fire. The combat was a nice mix of action and strategy, and the game was gorgeous. For part 2 titled Rebirth, I'm expecting more of the same. The exploration does look larger in scope, and I would love to see some new mechanics be introduced to the gameplay, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's just more of the same. That's why, honestly, I'm just playing this game for the story. See, from my understanding, they made some major changes to the storyline, and I'm curious to see how it all plays out. My main concern with Rebirth is Square milking this series. I mean, one more game is cool, let's make it a trilogy, but I am worried they're gonna drag this story out into 4, 5, 6 different games. But for now, I can say I'm looking forward to Rebirth when it drops exclusively for the PS5 on February 28th, 2024. Black Myth Wukong is another Souls-like game that's been making waves ever since it was uploaded to YouTube 3 years ago. Yes, you heard that correctly. The original footage dates back to 3 years ago. Since then, I've constantly been asked during my streams if I was excited for this game, and every time I'd reply, the studio never said this game was coming to the West. See, Wukong is from a studio out in China. This is their first game, and they never stated if there would be a Western port. That is, until we got an official announcement at the 2023 Game Awards. That trailer was awesome because not only did we get an August release date, but it was fully voice acted in English. Outside of the obvious of the game being gorgeous, Black Myth Wukong looks dope because of the combat, the scale, and the story. I think one thing the studio could do better is advertise what's different about this game, as I do feel like the Souls-like genre is starting to get a little crowded, but other than that, I do think this game is a game you should keep your eye on. I'm sure it's going to create a lot of rage-induced moments from your favorite content creators. We'll see when Black Myth Wukong drops August 20th, 2024 for PS5, PC, and Xbox. Star Wars Outlaw is a new open world Star Wars game from Ubisoft. It stars a new hero named K-Vess, and she's doing her best as an outlaw to survive during the Empire's reign. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm only halfway excited for this game because I have a bias towards Star Wars and space shit. I love Star Wars content, it is what it is. My worry stems from the fact that this is being handled by Ubisoft. The first gameplay trailer didn't blow me away, but I also didn't hate it. I think they need to spend more time showcasing how this game is different from all their other open world games, because at first glance, it looks like a generic third-person shooter. So once again, you might be wondering, well, why are you excited? And once again, I'm gonna say to you, it's because it's Star Wars. I love the world and its characters, and I can stomach an average third-person action game if the new character has some major implications on the Star Wars universe. I just pray Ubisoft doesn't fuck up an already muddled Star Wars timeline. Take some notes from Respawn. It can be done, Ubisoft. Just take your time with the game, please. Wonder Woman is the latest game from Monolith, the studio behind Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. I love both of these games and I love Wonder Woman, so naturally I'm excited to see what happens when these two worlds collide, especially since it's been confirmed that Monolith's Nemesis system will be in Wonder Woman. I'm also curious to see how the combat will play. Will the invisible jet be present, and will we get some cameos from other DC heroes? I guess my main concern for this game is that we have yet to see any gameplay, but industry insiders claim that we can expect the game to release mid to late 2024. If that's true, then Monolith needs to show the world what they've been working on. They have a lot to prove after the fiasco that was Shadow of War. Basically, the final act of that game was damn near pay to win because they made it so grindy. It made players feel the need to purchase their microtransactions, which were XP boosts, to get to the end of their single player game, which is just no bueno. The good news is that Warner Bros., their parent company, came out and knocked down the rumors that Wonder Woman would be a live service game. So that says to me that Monolith might be back on track to just making quality single player games. And last, but certainly not least, I am looking forward to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which is basically Tenkaichi 4. I'm looking forward to this game because, well, who doesn't like Dragon Ball? For this game, I pray it has a decent camera, the combat has some depth to it, and it has an original storyline for its campaign. I also pray they don't adopt the business practices of modern day fighting games. Please don't charge us $5 for every DLC character. Just put 100 characters on the disc like the old Dragon Ball games. Now, at the time of this recording, there is no definitive release date, but the Steam page does say coming soon, and according to a Reddit tinfoil hat wearing conspiracist, Bandai has a thing about releasing their game 7 months after being revealed, so if that's true, many people think this game will drop July 2024, but only time will tell. In the meantime, while we wait, I want to take some time to shout out some honorable mentions, the first of which is Multiverses. Many of you may have forgot, but this game didn't actually shut down. It was in beta and they took the game down so they can address all the feedback given to the community to make the game better. I personally like the game. I even have a clip to prove it.
That's right, Spike up. I'm sorry, both y'all. Fuck y'all.
Pussies!
Look at that shit.
Yo, they're mad! They're so mad! Go ahead and kill yourself. Oh shit! Yo, somebody clip that shit. Fuck them. Sadly, Multiverses was missing some quality of life stuff, and they were too focused on shoehorning characters in that nobody asked for. Forcing Black Adam into the game looked especially bad because the movie flopped. Stop trying to promote mediocre movies and give people what they want. Another game I'm looking forward to is the HD remaster of Luigi's Mansion 2. For some weird reason, Nintendo chose to put the sequel to the classic GameCube game on the Nintendo 3DS. I love the original game, I love Luigi's Mansion 3, but I never got to play the second game because I didn't have a 3DS until later in its lifespan, so I might pick up the remaster for the Switch. And last but not least, I am keeping an eye out for Power World. I definitely want to play this for the shits and giggles. It's basically Pokemon with guns. I can't tell if this game is gonna be good or not, but I'll try it out for the memes, the same way you're gonna try out some more of my content. See, to the left you'll find a card that'll take you to my first impressions of Baldur's Gate 3. I know many of you were wondering if it deserved to be Game of the Year, so I thought I'd share what I thought of the game for those of you seeking the info. And to the right, you will find a card taking you to a video explaining why I uninstalled Alan Wake 2. It's pure comedy. Click one of the cards, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.